Hello everyone. This video is meant to demonstrate my new package remark-imagetools. Its purpose is to simplify the use of the imagetools package within a Markdown file. As you already might have guessed, imagetools is a nice feature to simplify scaling and manipulation of images within your project. So this is a little demonstration of this package. First, let's start a little project. Now we're creating a directory for content. And we're generating Svelte project. So we have to ask some questions. We're just generating a skeleton project here with some basic functionalities. And that's it. Now we need to install all those packages. That was a typo. And then we're adding everything into our Git. Not really necessary, but better be safe. So let's give it a try. Run this application. And here you can see it had been rendered. Okay, so let's stop it. Check it out in our code. You can use any development environment you like. And first thing we have to do is to install imagetools support, which is the plugin Vite imagetools. And this will add imagetools Vite integration as well as imagetools as well as itself. And we have to add it to the Vite configuration as well. So we're importing imagetools here. And then we have to add it to the plugins chain. And that was it for the integration of the imagetools. Next up, we're gonna add MDSVex to our project. MDSVex is a Markdown plugin for Markdown integration for Svelte, which is very useful, and it provides integration into the remark plugin infrastructure. So here we go. And after that, we are just starting our configuration file for this. And our configuration file, there we will just provide some basic configuration here. So you can see what we're doing here is just specifying an object with extensions yet. And all those extensions are used to identify all components that should be considered to provide Markdown content. Last but not least, we need to integrate MDSVex into Svelte. So there we have to import MDSVex. Here we're using our plugin, and this is configuration we have just added. And first of all, we need to extend the update the default extensions from Svelte. This is obviously the Svelte file, but also the extensions from our MDSVex config. Obviously, there is some content in here, but just think of this portion as all those .md elements. And for the pre-processing portion, we need to add MDSVex itself. So MDSVex is being used in here. That's where the plugin comes in, and here is our configuration project. So this is it for the MDSVex integration. And now we're going into the meaty portion of this whole video. So we're adding the remark-imagetools package. So this package provides a remark plugin. You can find all the documentation on the corresponding GitHub page. So as I mentioned earlier, the MDSVex integration provides support for remarks, so we can update this MDSVex configuration here. And what we have to do is just edit the list of remark plugins. And here we're adding a pair which contains the plugin and the configuration. So this is a remark-imagetools plugin. And this plugin will be part of our remark infrastructure. So, and what I've added here as well is a debug option, script before, script after. This means that whenever a script is transformed, you will see how the script looked like before the plugin got to it and after that. And this is a section of presets. Those are image configurations you can specify ahead of time. So you can reuse those configurations, which makes it unnecessary to provide all those settings afterwards in all files separately, because typically a use case would be a source set with predefined values, and this would be a good place to put them in. Okay, so before we can start playing around, we need some images as well. I've put some images here ahead of time. So I'm putting them into this folder source lib images. So we can easily access them. As you can see, they are here now. And now we can start making use of the remark-imagetools integration. As you can see, this is still a svelte component. We can rename it into MD. Therefore, we know it's a Markdown file, and MDSVex is picking it up. First, we're adding some frontmatter. And this is the content. So I can use frontmatter portion in here. And let's just try it out. And here you can see the image title is rendered. So now let's go to the interesting portion. We want to edit some images. And the attribute images here is the default one. You can use any attribute name you like. This is configurable, of course. And we're creating here one record for one image. Let's name it my image. This is a property used to access the image afterwards. And obviously we need to show which image is used. So we're using lib images. Let's have a look what we have here. Fjord, for instance. So this would be the image that should be accessible, and we can use it in a standard Markdown notation. And here we are adding the property my image. And this is an object which contains the image location within its attribute source. Now let's save it, and we can have a look, and here you can see the image, how it looks. Obviously, that's not very interesting for now, but we can do other stuff as well. We can add, for instance, some scaling. So now we're restricting the width to 400 pixels. And all of a sudden, the image is 400 pixels wide. Similarly, we can add some height. What I'm doing here is I'm adding a height of 200 and 300. Whenever you see those square brackets, we are generating a multitude of images, which means we have to refer to them like this. However, since there is a bug in MDSVex, you have to use a corresponding function. So as you can see, we have two images. One is 400 times 200, and the other one is 400 times 300, and both of them will be displayed in here. Now, just to check it up, as you can see, this looks like expected. And we can use other features such as format, JPEG. So those images will be delivered as JPEGs. Usually you wouldn't do that if your input source is already WebP. WebP is probably the best solution in the most cases. And you can see now those images are JPEG. But we also can do some manipulations. For instance, for example, creating grayscale variations. And you can see they are grayscaled now. Or we can flip them. And now they're upside down. There is a multitude of possibilities. You have just to check out the documentation for the ImageTools project, as this is just meant to generate the corresponding URLs. Here you can see the code that has been generated accordingly, just if you're interested to know how it works internally. And in addition to this little video, I'm linking a project which contains much more examples with all those Markdown files. Thanks for listening, and I hope I piqued your interest. So have a nice day and goodbye.